Hello, I'm Gabriel Purviance, and I'm standing in front of Our Saviour Lutheran Church, where I've been a lifelong member. The church is located at the intersection of 33rd Street and the Alameda. The church originated in Jackson Square in East Baltimore, near Johns Hopkins University. The church is made of stone and is in the Gothic Revival style. The church was designed by the architectural firm of Frohman, Robb, and Little. The firm also designed the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., and the Episcopal Cathedral of the Incarnation in Baltimore. The Church of Our Saviour is known as one of the finest small churches in America, as noted in F.R. Weber's The Small Church. It is one of perhaps a scant 24 churches in the United States where the tower is truly of proper proportions. He also noted that it is of a type of construction that ought to last for 8 or 10 centuries, comparing it with work abroad of like construction. Let's go inside and take a look. Now we're inside the church, which seats nearly 400. As you can see, the utmost care was taken in design and construction to make it a long-lasting and reverent place of worship. Of particular note are the exquisitely detailed stained glass windows, which were installed over a 30-year period beginning in 1930. They were made by the Willett Stained Glass Company of Philadelphia and are particularly intricate and beautiful. You can see the beautiful organ that's used weekly and from which the bells are played. Okay, now we're going to go to the bell tower. The bell tower has 3 ladders leading up to a workshop that's just below the level of the bells. When we go inside, you'll notice it has a medieval feel. Stay with me. Okay, we're ascending the first ladder. Okay, 2 more to go. Stay with me. Okay, 1 more to go. We're almost there. Stay with me. We've arrived. So we made it to the workshop. And then I mentioned I'm afraid of heights. So the workshop was put in when the bells were being installed, and for obvious reasons, it was left in place at the conclusion of the project. The bells can be played from this keyboard when they're being worked on. This vent, which you can see down to the bottom to the ground level, allows for air to rise up through the tower and provides ventilation for the church. This door lets you see into the church proper, although we're really not quite sure what its intended purpose was. But it's a wonderful view. Now let's go up and take a look at the bells. You can see how having a set of bells like this can't be an afterthought in designing and building a church. You really need to plan from the beginning to accommodate a set of bells like this. There are 18 here, cast and installed in 1934 by the McShane Bell Company of Baltimore. They range from about 500 pounds for the smallest bell to about 3,000 pounds for the largest. They are meant to be played on the organ, and in fact, a member of the church at the time of the church's construction, who was an electrician, donated the materials and his time to install the conduit to accommodate the wiring needed to play the bells from the organ. At the time of their dedication in 1934, there was a series of concerts played on the bells over the course of a week. A wonderful booklet describing the bells and the events was published by the congregation to mark the event. Each of the bells is inscribed with a dedication and a Bible verse. On the fifth bell is inscribed, "O give thanks unto the Lord, for he is good, for his mercy endureth forever." The third bell is inscribed, "I will sing unto the Lord as long as I live. I will sing praise to my God while I have my being." The ninth bell is inscribed, "The just shall live by faith. A mighty fortress is our God, a trusty shield and weapon." And the donors dedicated this bell to the pastor of the time, Reverend A.J. Stemke, and former pastors, the Reverend H.B. Hemmener, the Reverend O. Kaiser, and the Reverend T.C. Sorgi. The fourth bell is inscribed, "Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life." Back when the old Memorial Stadium, which is located just a few blocks from the church, which was known as Municipal Stadium at the time, hosted the Army-Navy game, Pastor Stemke would play the Navy hymn and other U.S. Navy music for the midshipmen as they paraded down 33rd Street. I imagine it was a beautiful sight. The mechanism was last furbished in the 1950s. Unfortunately, they don't work anymore. You can see that each bell has its own motor and chain that pulls the striker to play it. We think the problem may be a short in one of the motors. At any rate, as you can see, there is likely substantial electrical work that needs to be done to get things back in order. Can you imagine having a TV from 1950? We can manually strike them to hear what they sound like. Take a listen. From here, we're going to go up to the roof. Okay, we made it to the tower roof, and as you can see, it's quite a view. To the northeast, we have Lake Montebello, which is the reservoir for the Montebello filtration system, which first opened in 1910. And panning around to the southeast, you can see the Key Bridge, which spans the lower Patapsco River. And then as we pan around to the southwest, you see Baltimore City College, which is boasts some of the most famous alumnus of Baltimore, and one we're most proud of is our current pastor, Charles McLean. And as we pan west down 33rd Street, just about a mile west is Johns Hopkins University. And just a few blocks was the former Memorial Stadium, where many exciting football games with the Baltimore Colts and baseball games with the Baltimore Orioles were played. So on the tower roof, we found a bell which was cast in 1856 and installed in 1936, and we have no idea what its purpose is. Is it a spare bell? I don't know, but it's quite interesting. It spans an incredible history of the United States as well as Baltimore, Maryland, and you never know what you're going to find. Now we're going to go back down. Okay, we've made it back to the nave of the church. Thank you for joining us on this tour. Thank you for your time and watching the video. Hark there comes from yonder tower, sweetest music, new and old, bringing to our very hearthstone invitations from the fold. Listen as the sounds come clear, Jesus, lover of my soul. Like a benediction comes it, telling of that restful goal. Words come not from yonder tower, only music pure and sweet,
but the message is familiar, e'en to those with straying feet. List again, the music changes. Now we hear a martial air. Onward, Christian soldiers, onward. Oh, be strong to do and dare. E'en the careless and neglectful sing it as they come and go. Thrusting to the background meanwhile, sordid thoughts of friend and foe. Now come sweetly in the gloaming, abide with me, 'tis eventide, and our hearts go up in prayer, Lord with me, in me abide. Chimes like those must have a mission, as they sound both far and near, stirring memories oft forgotten by their message strong and clear.